Hello everyone and welcome back to The Good Screen. I'm Russell.
I'm Lauren.
And we're back here with, I guess, season 2 of our podcast.
Woo!
Woo! So we've wrapped up our first year of doing the podcast together with Minions last week.
Minions.
And we have a few changes, hopefully, that are going live with this podcast. We're doing new art. Lauren is going to make art for every single episode.
Yup.
Which you had to finish for this one still. We're a little late because we were on vacation.
Yep.
We'll talk about that more later.
Yep.
And Lauren's doing the art, and we're going to probably have a different kind of video feed up. If not on this one, the next one, because Lauren still has to make those assets. And yeah, so new changes and everything. Going to be a little bit different visually if you watch on YouTube and on Spotify, where I think the art actually changes. I don't think it changes in Apple.
Oh, well, that's sad.
Unless you change like the main artwork for the podcast, which is strange. But
yeah.
So, which we'll be changing that too. You have that one ready, right?
No.
Lauren wanted more involvement, and then she just completely just didn't finish any of the stuff.
We were on vacation.
That was like 2 weeks ago.
What?
All right.
No, that was yesterday.
No, 2 weeks ago when we started working on the stuff.
I didn't know I was doing everything.
I thought you wanted to.
I do, but you didn't give me a list of everything I had to do.
Oh, well, apparently I need to give you a list of things. Either way,
Yes, please.
there's going to be some visual changes for the podcast, and Lauren wanted to be more involved.
I'm really quiet, even though I'm talking at a normal volume.
Okay, I'll boost you up.
Later?
Yeah, I'll boost you in Audacity.
Oh, okay. Does it sound weird when you do that?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Today we have a very long episode planned.
Oh my god.
We're going to be here for a long time. It is, for us right now, it's 2:37. Why don't we just go ahead and get started with talking about the first movie so you have something to read and apparently be entertained because you can't stop yawning.
Wake me up. I was just reading about World War II for like an hour, so
yeah, that would tire me out too. I was reading about Barbie for an hour, so
yeah, you're pumped.
I'm pumped up. So obviously, and we're a little late on it because we had to go on vacation, but we had to go on vacation. We went last weekend. We went to go see Oppenheimer and Barbie, like everyone else, and in a rare fashion, we're talking about 2 new movies in one podcast and 1 new TV show. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah. I haven't finished watching the second season.
I haven't either, but I think that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah. First movie we're going to talk about today is Oppenheimer, and we're just going to get right into it. No, what have you been enjoying? No, anything like that. Just straight into the movie. So, Lauren, what can you tell me about Oppenheimer?
Did you learn about World War II in 6th grade?
I learned about it from 6th grade all the way up through like 12th grade.
Perfect. The end.
Really?
I mean,
I didn't learn anything about this guy. I was like, who the fuck is he?
Oops, I just hit the mic. I'm so sorry, editing Russell. That might have sounded bad. Okay, let me read. So this movie is called Oppenheimer.
Good job.
Thank you. I did my research.
Yeah.
It's directed by Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
Its budget was only $100 million.
Okay.
I thought it'd be a lot more than that, but I guess not. It's based on history, naturally, but
You mean this really happened?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Oh my god.
But it was more notably like specifically based on a biography about Oppenheimer called American Prometheus: The Triumph and Tragedy of J. Robert Oppenheimer.
Okay.
So a lot of stuff comes from that. It's a biography written by like 2 authors about him. It was written like the 90s.
Okay. When you could start talking about stuff from World War II.
Yeah, when it was a bit more socially acceptable to talk about it.
Yeah. Okay.
And everything in this movie is literally pretty much true.
Okay.
Except there was some like dramatic added to it, but everything that happened, it happened.
Yeah.
It all happened.
Real life.
So Oppenheimer was born in April of 1902 in New York City. His parents were fresh off the boat from Germany.
Oh.
He was Jewish.
Okay, that's mentioned in the movie a couple times.
Quite a bit. He earned his bachelor degree from Harvard in 1925, so he would have been 23. And he got his PhD at the University of Göttingen in Germany in 1927.
Okay.
I don't think you can get a PhD just 2 years after a bachelor anymore.
I think you can.
I thought you have to get a master's first.
I don't know.
Anyway, so then he came back to the United States after that. Did a bunch of bouncing around, like, career-wise. But then in 1936, he joined the physics department at UC Berkeley and became a professor. And then that's how he got introduced to the Manhattan Project eventually.
Yeah.
The Manhattan Project started 4 years after the German nuclear program was started, which, do you know what it's called?
No.
So the name translates to the Uranium Club.
The Uranium Club.
Yes. And when it started at first, it was more like theoretical, like, can we do it type thing, because it started in 1939. So,
wow.
Yeah. And they never really got their feet too far up off the ground with most stuff, but a lot of that is because they refused to use normal fucking physics. They refused to use Jewish science.
Oh,
and they used
yeah.
Aryan science, which I was trying to figure out what any of it meant, and I couldn't understand. I understood it less than I understand normal physics.
Wow.
So that just goes to show you what they were working with, which was basically nothing. So because of that, like in that one part of the movie where Groves and Oppenheimer were talking about how far ahead they are from the Germans,
yeah.
Even though technically they were like 4 years behind with starting their program, they were like eons ahead of them
because they were using
research.
Science made by Jewish people.
They were just
that
using
was
normal
accurate.
Science.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, the reason why they considered physics to be like Jewish science in the first place was because all the physics scientists just happened to be Jewish. Yeah. And so also the U.S. kind of like mind gamed itself with the Manhattan Project because they thought the Germans were going to drop a bomb like any day. They like mind gamed themselves with being able to make so much progress so fast.
Yeah, they were like, well, we could just like get blown up.
Yeah, but so because of that, and they had like a fire under their ass about that.
Yeah.
Even though the Nazis never got close to making an atomic bomb. Because part of the reason like why they fucked up is because, so at first they did do tests with uranium, but the uranium that they had access to in Nazi Germany was like really shitty uranium, basically, whereas we in the United States have access to much better uranium.
Sure.
It's true. And so when they did do tests with uranium, it didn't work. If they had good uranium, it would have worked the first time. Like, they had the science almost right the first time.
Wow.
But they had shitty uranium, so it didn't work, so they thought it wouldn't work, period. So then they switched to using this thing called heavy water, which is an isotope of water.
Okay.
I don't know how else to explain it. You remember what an isotope is, right?
No.
Okay, so an isotope is the regular molecule,
but
a little bit different.
Okay. So it was heavy water.
Yes, that's what it was called.
Okay.
The heavy water wasn't not nearly as efficient as uranium, and it took like 10,000 times more heavy water to make it work than it did uranium.
Oh.
That's not a real number. That's just me like trying to show you the emphasis of how inefficient it was to uranium. So as they said in the movie, Werner Heisenberg, he did at one point like teach Oppenheimer, and he was very quickly like gotten a hold of by the Nazis. Yeah. Unfortunately.
They kept him in a basement or something, right?
Yeah, I was telling you about that in the movie a little bit.
Yeah.
But so it's never been like officially confirmed or not, or at least not that I could find, but Heisenberg basically like self-sabotaged the whole Nazi atomic bomb project because he didn't want it to happen. Yeah. And so he kind of like lowballed how much money he would need in order to make the bomb in the first place so that he wouldn't even be able to get access to the stuff he actually needed, if that makes sense. Okay. But also that way, even if he did do it, it would be impressive because he did it with like such little resources. Yeah. But he never did it. And then this is taken directly from an article. It says, Heisenberg said in 1939 that the physicists at a meeting said that in principle atomic bombs could be made. It would take years, not before 5. So like it would take like at least 5 years for them to make an atomic bomb at that point, and that was in 1939.
Yeah.
And then he said, I didn't report it to the Fuhrer until 2 weeks later, and very casually did it because I did not want the Fuhrer to get so interested that he would order great efforts immediately to make the atomic bomb. So he was kind of just like, yeah, it could work, but it'll take a while. We should probably just not do it.
That was Hitler?
Yes. Hitler. The Fuhrer. And so then another guy named Speer, he was originally an architect, but Hitler made him like the minister of armaments and war production. So he was like in charge of making the weapons. So Speer felt that it was better that the whole thing should be dropped. Don't mind the pun.
Like a bomb?
And the Fuhrer agreed. And so then in Speer's autobiography that also came out in like I forget what year, like the late 80s or something, he stated that the project to develop the atomic bomb was kind of like scuttled, is the word they used, in the fall of 1942. Like they tried to get back at doing it. And even though the science was there, it still would have taken all of Germany's like resources to make the bomb, and it would have taken like 4 years.
Okay.
5 years, even then.
So what does this have to do with Oppenheimer?
It's the history.
Has nothing to do with our side.
Yes, it does.
Okay, tell me more about
because they were
movie.
in like a race against them, but there actually was never a race at all.
Yeah. Okay.
But they didn't know that. They were only mind gaming themselves. But they didn't have like access to like German news or anything, so they didn't know what was happening. And then, like I said, he was effectively like put into a basement to do his work with little funding. Heisenberg was. Getting on to the U.S. dropping the bomb. The United States made the decision after this thing called the Potsdam Declaration. It was also called the Proclamation Defining Terms for Japanese Surrender, which was on July 26, 1945. This was a meeting where President Truman, Winston Churchill, and a chairman of China met with the Empire of Japan to basically like give them terms of surrender. And Japan was given an ultimatum saying that if they didn't surrender, that they would face prompt and utter destruction. And Japan was like, no, we're not going to surrender. But there's also an argument made that even though they never asked Japan for like a peace treaty, they only asked for straight up surrender.
Yeah.
So there's arguments that maybe if they had asked for a peace treaty instead, we never would have had to drop the bombs. But we'll never know.
Yeah, we'll never know.
So then just like 2 weeks later, on August 6, 1945, the Enola Gay dropped the Little Boy bomb onto Hiroshima. The bomb detonated at 1,750 feet with the equivalent of 13 kilotons of TNT, which is a lot.
Wow.
It destroyed like 5 square miles pretty much immediately. 69% of Hiroshima's buildings were destroyed. And
69.
And between 70 and 80,000 people died.
Wow.
A couple days later, on August 9th, another plane took off with the Fat Man. It was originally supposed to go to another city called Kokura, but it was too cloudy, so they couldn't
They couldn't drop it there.
They couldn't see the target. So then they moved on to Nagasaki, which was like the next town over. And this bomb was stronger at 21 kilotons of TNT. But the population of Nagasaki wasn't as big, I don't think. So the estimation is between 35 and 40,000 people died there. So as you may have noticed, I'm congested. But
why?
I don't know. But also, as you may have noticed, you
need a tissue? They're right behind you.
So as you may have noticed while watching the movie, they never actually showed the destruction that went on.
Yeah, because it's all practical.
In the cities. Still.
Christopher Nolan really wanted to drop another bomb, but they told him no.
Did he really?
No. They didn't show the destruction in the cities because... I don't think it was because of the whole, he doesn't use CG. But, he didn't want... I don't know. I think not showing it was kind of, interesting because nobody here saw it.
No, but it's also, kind of weird.
It's not weird, Lauren. It's pretty bad.
Well, I mean, it's bad. I don't like how they didn't show anything that happened in the cities.
Really?
It kind of,
Well, you look at it from his perspective. It's like, Okay, well, I just built this thing that's gonna like destroy people.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at the like screenplay for it, it's all written in first person.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm. So it really is like the whole movie is from his perspective.
Yeah.
So I mean that makes sense, but it also is like giving a little bit of American propaganda, like not showing that stuff. But I guess.
Well, at some point in the movie, he sees footage of like aftermath stuff and like.
Yeah, and then they don't show it to us.
They don't show it to us. Yeah. So it's
but it is true. They like a week later they sent out some American scientists out to like do surveys of like the radiation.
Yeah,
and what happened to the people.
Pretty bad.
Because like the story goes is that they didn't know the destruction it was caused.
Yeah.
That it would cause, but like they knew.
They knew.
Like they estimated their numbers way lower so that it would sound better on paper. Like because they said like only 10,000 would die, but like 10 times that amount of people died almost. And so, yeah, they knew exactly what was going to happen. They knew the effects that the radiation would have.
Mm-hmm.
Because basically what happens when you get hit by a nuclear blast is your skin all melts off, your eyeballs explode, and your bones turn to ash.
Isn't that wild?
Like, immediately. And if you want to see it happen, you should watch, there was an anime going on. It was like an adult focused anime called Barefoot Gen.
Oh, the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Well, there was a movie, but there was also like a TV series of it.
Oh, there was?
Mm-hmm. And the movie was based on the TV series.
Oh,
but basically, you can watch the clip of the bombing scene that happened, and it is...
That one's rough.
It's rough, but it's extremely accurate.
Mm-hmm. And it's probably made by people who friends and family died. Because I think that came out in like the 80s.
Yeah, 83.
So like people who were children around that time probably animated that. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine that? That's crazy.
It's insane, yeah.
Yeah, so.
But yeah, I recommend you go watch that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Grave of the Fireflies is good too. I shouldn't say good, but bad. But
I haven't seen it because I know it'll make me sad.
It's very sad.
I don't want to see it.
I had to watch it in high school.
That's fucked.
Yeah. Yeah, overall... any other historical things about Oppenheimer, not the Germans? Anything else you have on your notes, Lauren?
I mean, I meant to look into what happened after the war, but I kind of forgot. Let me do that right now.
Okay. Have you seen any other Christopher Nolan movies?
Not that I know of. What else has he done?
He did the 3 Batman movies, the good ones.
Which ones are those?
The Dark Knight. Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises. You never. Okay. He did Inception, Interstellar, Tenet. I think there's another World War II one. He's a big World War II guy. I'm forgetting the name of it, but it had like Brad Pitt in it. Basically, every dude my age loves Christopher Nolan movies because they're like, I don't know. He's like the 30-year-old dude director.
Yeah.
We want to talk about the film experience a little bit before we start talking about the movie.
Yeah. I mean, the only other thing to really say about Oppenheimer is like after all this, he went back to teaching originally, but then his heart like wasn't in it anymore.
Yeah.
So he focused on studying for a long time.
Yeah.
And even though he was like praised as a hero, he also was kind of living in shame.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like when they were marketing this movie and they were like the first trailers came out, everyone was kind of like, "Oh no, this giant bomb that I've been developing killed people. Oh no."
Yeah.
So that's like kind of like the sort of ironic part about it all, where I guess like you can do something and work towards something and not realize what it's actually gonna do.
Yeah.
And maybe there was a little bit on him that was like, maybe we just developed this for like the emergencies, but like,
yeah, I feel like I don't know if he thought they would actually use it like, right away.
I'm not. Yeah, basically, the movie made it look like they used it right after it was ready. Like
no,
they did the test.
It was a few months.
Yeah, but it made it look like it was right away. It's like, all right, well, we just packaged this up.
Yeah.
And he was like, they're gonna use the bomb to kill people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because his job was just to make the science to build the bomb.
Yeah.
Like that was his part in it.
Yeah.
So like he isn't responsible for what happened.
Yeah.
But I mean, he did do the science, so like there's a lot of a lot of ethical dilemmas there to be had.
Well, there were plenty of ethical dilemmas back then on everything.
Yeah. So let me go on to Oppenheimer's final years and death.
Oh, okay.
So in 1954, Oppenheimer moved to the U.S. Virgin Islands. He spent a lot of time there on like a beach house.
Sounds awesome.
He only did, looks like he did some interviews and like talks about the bomb.
Okay.
As in his speeches and public writings, Oppenheimer continually stressed the difficulty of managing the power of knowledge in a world in which the freedom of science to exchange ideas was more and more hobbled by political concerns. So, like, he was more concerned with the science, but then politics took that science and did something with it.
Yeah, they kind of showed that in the movie, too.
Mm-hmm. He published a book about his experiences. Oppenheimer died at his home in Princeton, New Jersey, at the age of 62 on February 18th, 1967.
From what?
Throat cancer. He was a chain smoker.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And then a few years later, his wife Kitty died from a pulmonary embolism.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And his legacy is he did the bomb.
I should have done the research on this one.
I did fine! I knew more about the stuff that happened during the war than Oppenheimer himself.
Okay.
So, like, whatever.
I'm not a big World War II guy.
I'm not so much either, but I have listened to a lot of podcasts about it.
Okay, so that makes you an expert about it.
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, yes.
All right. So what did you think about the movie? Let's talk about the movie theater experience first. So we obviously went to go see this first in our Barbenheimer Saturday. Mm-hmm. We saw it on IMAX. It was Sunday? It was Sunday, yeah. Barbenheimer, we did it on Sunday. Mm-hmm. We saw it at like 12 o'clock. Mm-hmm. And we saw it in IMAX on, I think, the 50 millimeter or whatever. Not the biggest one. There's a bigger one.
Yeah.
We don't have access to that, and I don't really care.
It was big enough.
It was big.
Mm-hmm.
There was a guy in the movie theater dressed up like Oppenheimer.
It was amazing.
He came in late, too, which was annoying because he had the fucking hat on.
Yeah, and he was, like, walking in front of everything.
And we were like, is that him?
Oh my god, it's Oppenheimer.
It's Oppenheimer.
Yeah. So the movie itself, I thought it was all going to be in black and white, but it was just like the present.
The present stuff was in black and white.
Yeah. And the past stuff was all in color.
Weird.
I thought the storytelling was pretty good.
It was an interesting way to tell the story because it kind of bounced around all over the place and then kind of melded together at the end.
Yeah.
But not, yeah. So it was another one of those movies where like you could probably watch it again and like catch things beforehand, and knowing the historical context of what was happening would probably be really helpful.
Yeah, like I was trying to give you some fun facts during the movie,
and I was like, "Can you be quiet?"
Yeah, but it's interesting.
Yeah, who played Oppenheimer?
What's his name?
Mr. Oppenheimer himself.
Cillian Murphy.
Cillian Murphy. He looks just like him.
He really does. Have you seen a picture of Oppenheimer?
Yeah, I have.
It's insane. He really does look just like him.
Yeah.
I know I've seen jokes about how Cillian Murphy's in like every Christopher Nolan film.
Yeah.
But he really does look just like Oppenheimer.
I think he plays like shit, who does he play in the Batman movie? I think he's the Scarecrow.
Ooh.
In Batman. I might be wrong. I haven't seen that movie in a long time. But I think he is the Scarecrow in Batman Begins, but he looks very different there. He has like emo hair and stuff. The movie was good.
Yes.
It was a typical Christopher Nolan movie. It was kind of weird though because out of all of his other movies, they're like kind of more action and like spectacle. And the only spectacle part of this movie was when they tested the bomb. And that part was really cool, like how they filmed it. Cool. Everything else was just conversation. I think I saw somewhere, I forget who it was, say it was kind of like 12 Angry Men.
I mean, yeah.
But like
that's what the whole war was, basically.
Yeah, like
you could argue that.
Like a judge and jury sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I definitely learned a lot because like I said, and like we announced before, we're not really World War II heads.
No.
I had the displeasure of my grandfather passing way too early for me to get even interested in it when I was younger, so that never happened.
My great-granddad was a World War II veteran, but he refused to tell any stories.
Wow.
To anyone. Even my papa, because he's my papa's dad.
Yeah.
Papa said that, because Papa was like, when he was a kid and learned about the war, he tried to ask his dad about it, but his dad never answered any questions.
That means his dad probably killed people.
He fought in France.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, he
killed some people probably. Okay. Yeah, my grandpa was a little too young to be in the war, but he would have probably had stories about like people older than him in the family, I'm sure. And stuff like that. I mean, we live in an area that's very into the war, which I think is weird.
Well, we're not too far from the capital, but also just a lot of veterans live here.
A lot of veterans live here. There's a pretty famous weekend at a local airport where they fly like real planes from back then and do like
fireworks shows and stuff.
No, they don't do fireworks shows.
They don't?
No, they don't.
They did.
They do not do a World War II fireworks show.
Ironic.
That would be really fucked up.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not fucked up, but
like to celebrate the veterans.
I don't think they do that. I could be wrong though. But I never went. But I lived so close that I heard it every weekend.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I was pretty close to that airport, and they have like reenactors and stuff like that, which are basically like war cosplayers.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are really into it. People my age, a little older than me, go there and wear their grandfather's whatever and pretend it's 1942.
Yay!
Woo!
Yeah, I don't know whatever happened to my great-granddad's uniform. That'd be something interesting to ask my papa next time I talk to him.
Yeah.
If he knows what happened to that kind of stuff or anything about it. I don't know if he might have been buried in it. I didn't get to go to his funeral.
I don't know.
Because of extenuating circumstances. I'll tell you later.
Oh.
But
okay.
I wanted to go to his funeral, but I was unable to.
Okay.
And then my great-grandma died like 2 weeks later.
Wow.
Yeah.
Were you able to go to that one?
No.
What the frick?
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, going back to World War II. So my least favorite thing about World War II, other than the horribleness and people dying and stuff, is how sometimes movies portray it as like this like heroic like thing.
World War II fucking sucked.
And yeah, I don't like when movies are like more propaganda about like, oh, look at this hero.
Like, what's the one that's in right now? It's like Freedom World.
What?
What's it called?
What are you talking about?
No, there's a movie that's in right now that is like 1000% propaganda.
Oh, I had no clue.
To the point where like a lot of people like in the Republican Party, like way up there in it, are like buying out whole movie theaters for it, but nobody's actually seeing it. They're just buying all the tickets to boost the sales.
What the fuck? Do you want to go see that next week?
Hold on. Let me find what it's called. Sound of Freedom.
Sound of Freedom.
Yes,
okay.
It is like 1000% just pure propaganda.
Yeah,
which so is like every other, especially a lot of the movies made about the Iraq War.
Yeah.
All propaganda.
Yeah.
We did not have to get involved with that, but I'm not going to get into
politics. Anyway, let's not get into politics, but I don't really enjoy war movies when they are written from the lens of like, oh wow, look at how great this, heroic this man was and he fought for freedom and stuff. I like the movies that are like, oh shit, this is pretty hard to watch. Because that just makes it like shows people that, this is how it was really like and we should probably not do this again.
Yeah, that's why I want to see Saving Private Ryan still. I haven't seen that.
That one's a rough one too. Like veterans, some veterans had to like walk out of the movie theater like when that came out. That was the big hot topic. It was like, good. This is too accurate. Like the movie starts with them going off the boats during Normandy.
Yeah.
And like it is probably, I don't want to say the goriest, but like just because of the subject matter, like it's probably the goriest and hardest to watch opening to a movie maybe ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they made video games about it. I don't like those.
No. No.
I don't like that part.
So I think making video games about, like, the Revolutionary War is a fun idea, right? Because that's 300 years ago. Whatever.
Sure.
We're so far removed from it. But doing video games that are about, like, our most recent war, it's fucked.
Yeah.
And there's still, like, living veterans for it. And it's still very much impacting modern history and stuff. Like, everything that happened then. Like, very distasteful. Like, it wasn't there, like, a COD World War II game or something?
There wasn't a movie.
Or Warfare or something? I said movie accidentally. I meant game.
There were a lot of Call of Duties in World War II. And modern ones, too. I think the modern ones are just enlistment tools. I'll say that. So, you know how many people my age, like, went in the army because they like Call of Duty?
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
That's like saying that you...
I'm not saying enlisting in the army because you played Call of Duty is a bad thing, but I'm saying, like, it's kind of weird.
There's better reasons to enlist in the army than you like to game.
Than being like, I was inspired by Call of Duty to fight for freedom. Okay. Weird.
Shouldn't you just want to do that anyways?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, if that's what you want to do, I don't know.
But anyway, getting off of this horrible, weird topic.
Yeah. I do want to watch Saving Private Ryan, though.
Okay, we can watch that sometime.
Yeah.
So, anyway, Oppenheimer is not a happy movie about a hero in World War II. It's kind of like it's a pretty messed up movie about a guy who has some pretty bad problems and has to work on something that I won't say ruined his life, but, well, maybe it did. It might have eventually ruined his life, and you know.
Because, like, he never left the United States, even though, like, Einstein urged him to leave the United States.
Yeah.
Like, that part's true, too.
Mm-hmm.
Einstein was like, I had to leave my country because of my achievements.
Right.
You might have to do that, too, and you probably should do that.
Right.
And he was like, no, I'm going to stay here. And so he did, but he kind of, like, it was like a teeter-totter of whether people liked him or absolutely abhorred him.
Yeah.
And, like...
because they thought he was a communist. That was the whole undertone of
there was that, too, yeah. Because he, like, dabbled with the Communist Party a little bit, but he never officially joined it.
Yeah, he just had family and friends who were in it. And he got into a little bit of, like campus politics when he worked at Berkeley.
Mm-hmm.
So
that
got him in trouble too, because the whole, like, after World War II was over, the Red Scare happened, like, right away, and they were like, hey, didn't this Oppenheimer guy that basically, like, ended the war for us, wasn't he a communist?
Yeah, so then they accused him of being a spy for a long time too, but that was pretty quickly debunked. Yeah,
so most of the movie is, like, leading up to him creating not him, but, like, his crew and everyone in the desert, I forget what it was called. Los Alamos. Making the bomb and testing it and everything. And then, like, the last, I want to say third of the movie maybe, is just, like, a trial. The rest of the trial. Because it bounces back and forth from, like, the government and senators, like, questioning him on, like, his what do I want to say? His what?
On the shit that happened.
His allegiance to the country or whatever.
Yeah, and about
his loyalty to the country.
Yeah, and about how he shouldn't have been, like, gotten his clearance in the first place.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see what that was called.
I don't think it was called anything. I think it was just, like, a hearing.
It was like a commission.
Yeah. And that's when it got into, like, the weird political part of it all, where it's like, hey, you're basically, like,
a war hero, but
also you're now a communist. Now we're taking your clearance away because that's just how they operated back then. Like, so many politicians were, like, ousted and it was all not true because McCarthy was like, I think this guy is a fucking communist because I don't like how he thinks. Yeah, and it was all basically like nobody
literally
was.
if you weren't a sheep.
Yeah.
You were a communist.
Yeah,
like,
they tried to control.
Even if you, like, dressed not the right way, or if you, like, wore the color red, you're a fucking commie.
Thank you, Lauren.
You're welcome.
I'm wearing purple and blue.
I'm wearing blue and black.
So we're not communists.
We're not dirty communists.
Our audio interface is red.
Timmy's is red.
Yeah, that Timmy's cup is red, too. Wawa is red. So yeah, we haven't really talked much about the actual like movie, but I would say
just read a history book.
Yeah.
I don't know. Read the Oppenheimer Wikipedia page.
I'd say it's worth seeing just to get like some context for like something that a lot of people like glaze over with the war.
Yeah. Because when I learned about the war, it was basically the war was going on.
Yeah.
The atomic bomb.
And then it was over.
And then it ended.
Yeah, right?
But, like, they never, ever teach you about the makings of the atomic bomb.
Like, I didn't know Hitler killed himself before they dropped this bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that happened, and then they thought Japan was going to surrender because of that, but they didn't.
They didn't, because they're Japanese.
A lot of it was, like, honor-bound stuff.
Yeah, because they're honor.
The other interesting thing... Oh, it just left my brain. I forgot.
It's okay.
Oh, Niels Bohr.
Niels Bohr.
Yeah, that he talked to at the beginning. That's the one, you know, the Bohr's model of the atom?
The Bohr?
No, the Bohr's model of the atom. Like the way that we draw the atom now.
Yeah.
He did that.
Wow.
He was him.
His teacher?
Yes. The one he went to the speech for at the beginning.
Oh, he went to the speech for.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the one who, when he...
Not the one he tried to poison.
No, that was...
Somebody else.
Was that Heisenberg?
No.
Yeah, that was Niels Bohr.
Okay.
Like at the beginning, because he went to his, like, remember, because he knocked over the thing in the classroom, like, he knocked over his petri dish or whatever, and then he was like, oh yeah, remember, teacher, we have to go see the Niels Bohr speech, and the teacher was like, fuck you, you're gonna clean this up, and
then he tried to poison him.
Yeah, and then he tried to poison him, which that, I don't think that part was true.
No, it was.
How do you know?
I watched the video about it.
Oh.
I saw it on YouTube, so it has to be true. That part was actually true. And I think they kind of like glazed over a few things where like he like basically told his teacher that he poisoned the apple, and then he went like somewhere else for a little bit to like get mentally stable again. I don't know. Again, I'm not really into World War II, so
I'd love to watch that video.
Yeah.
Anyways. But yeah, that was Niels Bohr.
That was so would you say overall this was a good screen?
I'd say it's a good screen.
It's kind of hard to talk about.
It's hard to talk about. Definitely buff up on your World War II history.
Yeah,
but not so much the war fighting part, but like the politics part.
Yeah, basically look up everything about the Manhattan Project, because we probably could have benefited from that. We would have a lot more context and.
Well, I had context because I've been listening to, and I still haven't finished it yet because it's so long. But the last podcast on the left did a whole series about the Manhattan Project that's like 6 episodes long.
Okay.
And their episodes are like 2 hours long. So.
Cool.
Yeah, a lot of really interesting stuff that I learned from that.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, go and watch that because it's probably less all over the place than our discussion about it.
Yeah, I mean, they have a lot of comedic asides, but their conversation about it is very good and very well researched because they have a research team. It's not just me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I would say overall it was a good screen. I would say see it in IMAX if you can still.
Yeah.
If you have the luxury of doing that. Mm-hmm. I can see this movie being, I don't want to say enjoyable, but being interesting to watch multiple times because there's a lot. It's dense on information. It's basically a talking movie.
Yeah.
A lot of talking. There's some boobies in it.
There are some boobies. Florence Pugh's boobies.
Yeah, and if that
There's a little bit of balls.
When?
When she was, like, on top of him during the conference thing.
Oh, yeah, the illusion part.
You could see his balls a little bit.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So if that entices you to see this movie, there you go.
There you go. Go learn something.
But yeah, overall, very interesting, like biographical movie. A little different than other Christopher Nolan movies.
Yeah.
If you're expecting it to be like Tenet or Inception, but like about a very grounded in reality historical event, you're gonna be a little disappointed. But if you need something to watch to gain history and be entertained by people talking for 3 hours.
Yeah.
I'm making it sound like it was not an enjoyable experience.
You make it sound like one of our episodes of our podcast.
Yeah. If you need to hear a guy talking about a bomb for 3 hours, if that's up your alley, then you're gonna love this movie.
Yeah.
The score is very good too.
Oh yes.
Yeah, typical. I forget who he gets to do the music in his movies. I want to say it used to be Hans Zimmer.
Let me look.
I think. I don't know. I'm not. I need to watch his movies, Christopher Nolan's other movies again, because they're very.
Ludwig Göransson.
Oh wow, very different. Okay, never mind.
Yes.
So. Yeah, if you're a fan of his movies, just go in knowing that it's a little different. Oh, Dunkirk was the other one that he did. That was like a European war movie about like frontline. I don't know. That one might be more of a propaganda-y film than this, but we would have to see.
I mean, I feel like every war film has a tinge of propaganda in it.
Yeah, a little bit.
I mean,
history is written by the ones who win.
That's what I was about
By
to say.
the victors.
That's what I was gonna say.
So, also watch Barefoot again, because that really shows you what happened there.
Really fucking shows you.
All right. So, do you think we're done talking about Oppenheimer?
Yeah, but I'd appreciate if you turn my mic up, like I asked you to.
Oh, you want your mic turned up?
Yes, I told you I'm talking at a normal volume, but it's showing up really quiet.
Okay. I will turn it up on our next part. Let's take a break, and then we will continue.
Okay.
All right, Lauren, we're back.
We are?
Yeah, we are. Lauren should be louder now without me editing her volume.
Hopefully.
All right, Lauren, so let's take a break from Barbenheimer, and let's talk about something else we've been watching the last little bit of time, which has been The Bear. We talked about this a little bit last episode.
Yeah, just a little bit.
But I figured we would have enough. We only watched a couple episodes at that point.
Yeah.
And I figured we'd have a little more to say about it by the next podcast, and we'll do that. So
yeah. We watched all the first season and the first 6 episodes of season 2.
Yeah.
So pretty much all of it.
Yeah. So basically, The Bear is a show about a dude who is a world famous, very affluent. Yeah, you could say that. Chef.
Yeah.
Who had Michelin stars, and I think 3 Michelin stars, and all that, and suddenly one day his brother dies, kills himself, and he goes back to Chicago and takes over his brother's pretty small scale sandwich shop.
Yeah, his brother willed it to him.
Yeah, he willed it to him, and he has to get acclimated to the staff and working in a completely different environment from the hoity-toity culinary world.
Yeah.
And that's the setup for the whole show.
Pretty much.
The first season of the show is basically stress incarnate.
Literally, yes. But it's so good.
It will make you never want to work in a kitchen in your life.
You shouldn't.
Unless you're really passionate about it, which everyone in the show is. In different ways.
Yes.
So you have Carmi, first of all, who's passionate about it because his brother willed it to him. Mm-hmm. And you have his brother's business partner, Richie.
Yeah.
Who is passionate about it because it's part of his history in Chicago and everything. Like, it's a very historic restaurant. And the old timers, Tina and what's the other guy's name? Ibra. They've been. I think Tina's been there for 20 years. She said
something crazy like that.
Something really crazy, probably before his brother took it over.
Mm-hmm.
And Ibra, who are long timers, and they're there to work in the beginning at least. Mm-hmm. And then Carmi needs someone from more of a culinary world, so he gets in Sydney, who's kind of like the co-star of the show, especially in season 2.
Yeah.
And she is his sous chef, and she essentially breaks, and Carmi, they both break the restaurant with their clashing world. It's basically about 2 worlds coming together to make something work. And the first season of the show, from what I've watched of season 2, has a much different tone So it starts out really like, man, this kind of stinks. What is the point? Like, you find out that his brother had all this debt and he's trying to figure out the expenses and stuff, and he loaned out money from like a family friend or a family member, his uncle. So it starts out like, man, what are they going to do to like make things better? And there's basically an inciting event at the end of the first season where like
they get a bunch of money.
They get a bunch of money.
Basically.
In some way, shape, or form. And at that point, like, season 2 starts when they start figuring out what they're going to do with all this money.
Yeah.
And the tone completely shifts. Like, there's still a little like stressful stuff because they're renovating the restaurant, but it feels like a completely different show. However, all the characters seem like real people, and that's like what you want to get out of a show like this. That's what I really like about it.
Yeah, they're very real, very adaptable, very complex characters.
Yeah, like Jeremy Allen White is going to be Carmi. Like, it's that kind of show.
Yeah.
It's like a Luke Skywalker or like Captain Picard sort of role where like people are going to see him in other series and be like, oh, there's Carmi.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's Carmi.
OMG, Carmi.
And honestly, like, everyone I'm not a huge TV guy, and this show kind of made me think like maybe I should watch more TV show, like prestige TV shows, or you could say. I mean, this is technically a comedy, but whatever. But like, they weren't in anything too like crazy before this, and I wouldn't consider this to be like anything like Marvel tier.
It put his name out there, though.
It did put his name out there. Yeah, he won a Screen Actors Guild Award for it. The first season.
Yeah.
I don't know about the second season. Yeah, we'll talk about that probably after everything.
Oh yeah, because that ties back into Oppenheimer too. Because the strike started like while they were doing some sort of like press show or something.
And some people left.
It was the premiere.
The premiere.
And literally the whole cast of Oppenheimer got up and left the premiere
of
their own movie because the strike started.
That's crazy.
They're like, all right, bye.
So anyway, yeah. So to spoil a little bit of the show, who and why is your favorite character? Who and why is your favorite character, Lauren? Who is and why are they your favorite character?
I have 2 favorite characters.
Okay.
My first one's Carmi.
Okay, of course.
Because.
Okay.
And then my second one is Tina.
Okay. I love Tina.
Tina's like the work mom for everyone.
Tina, I thought, was the villain of the show in the first 5 episodes.
And she was very against the change, but it was after Sydney started working with her a little bit that she kind of opened up to it.
Yeah.
And then Sydney like offered for her to be the sous chef, but she has to be sent to like actual cook school.
She has to go to culinary school.
Yeah, she has to go to culinary school, and she's just like thriving.
She loves it.
I'm so happy for her.
Like, it starts with her like being like,
oh, why do I have to
self-sabotaging and like
literally
making life harder for everybody.
She was so against the change.
And then like suddenly something clicks in a certain episode, and she starts like respecting people more, or not people, but Sydney, and like being a better person in the restaurant. And she doesn't like the whole like yes chef sort of thing, because that's how they talk. Like the lingo in the show is funny, because I never worked in like a real kitchen, so I don't know like
You worked at McDonald's.
I worked at McDonald's for a month, and I worked at my mom's bakery, which wasn't a real kitchen at all. We didn't even say behind you.
We said behind at Starbucks.
Yeah. So she doesn't like the lingo at first, so she says Jeff. She calls Carmi Jeff.
She calls him Jeff.
Eventually she says still says Jeff to Carmi.
She still says Jeff to Carmi.
But she says chef to everybody else. And it's really funny like seeing she had the biggest development in the first season.
Yeah. That's why I liked her so much.
Yeah. So Tina's pretty good. So you said Tina and Carmi are your favorite? Okay.
Yeah.
I like Richie. Richie is super. He's such a he's the most complicated guy there, because
he really is.
Like he's kind of the most realistic person there, because Tina's kind of like the character you expect, like, oh, she's changing and character development. But Richie doesn't really change.
No, we learn about him a bit. Like, we learn that he has a daughter.
And he's divorced.
Yeah.
And like he's kind of an asshole and like very cancelable.
Extremely.
And people don't like him because of that, or Sydney especially doesn't like him because of that. And then she starts throwing it back at him, and then they just start sort of respecting each other.
Yeah.
Which goes into the tonal shift of the second season because
at this point everyone gets along.
Everyone is getting along, yeah. And
it's just the frustrations with like rebuilding the restaurant.
Right. And of course we've only watched like 5 or 6 episodes of season 2. So they haven't even got back into the restaurant environment. So who knows, maybe like it gets stressful again.
Probably season 3 will be insane.
Yeah.
Because I'm willing to bet that this season ends with like them opening it at the end.
Yeah.
And season 3 will probably be about like those like 2 or 3 months that they have to grind to
get the money back.
To get the money back, but also because Carmi really wants a star.
Right. So, but yeah, Richie's one of my favorite characters because, like, he starts out like you think he's like the villain, and he's like gonna get thrown out of the restaurant or something because
which I thought he was gonna get fired for like a good while.
Yeah. And then you find out all this stuff about him, like he wants to be a good dad and everything, but like he's separated, and he's really trying, and like he goes to the hardware store with Sydney in like one of the earlier episodes, and like. It's really rough and like quiet, and then he calls his daughter because his daughter like got bullied or something like that.
Yeah, she like got picked on at school that day, and she wanted to talk to him.
And he was trying to be a good dad, or he was being a good dad there, I guess, as good as he could. And like he's the most like transparent character on the show, where like he's gonna say what he thinks, and I'm sure at some point in this season there's gonna be a big wow moment with him.
Yeah,
just the way they're building him up. But he's the most down-to-earth character, and like even though he has some rough opinions and he's pretty stuck in the past,
he's very crude too.
Yeah, he's very stuck in the past, and he has a huge dedication to the area and Chicago and everything, and
also to Mike.
Mikey. And to Mike because the brother who killed himself.
I feel like he knows something about Mikey that no one else knows.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's going to spill beans.
Yeah.
I feel like there's going to be some sort of drama about Mikey again soon. Also, I don't know if you picked up on or not, but have you noticed how there's like almost like how Mikey kind of is like a character?
What do you mean?
I mean, like, have you noticed the kind of like borderline like supernatural stuff that goes on?
No, what?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Like, so the episode, like, where the power goes out?
Yeah.
The power goes out because they're fighting.
Oh.
But then the moment they make up, the power comes back on.
Oh, that's... I don't know if that's supernatural.
Well, I thought it was funny. It'd be like Mikey did it. I don't know.
That episode was very cool, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the more, like, turning point episodes where people started to get along because of the situation they were in. So, yeah, the first season of it, at least watch the first season.
Yeah.
Second season is kind of different, and it goes into like their building process, and it doesn't seem like, of course, there's not as much tension, but there's like some other things that you learn about
stuff popping up, especially because right now where we're at, because Carmi is getting in contact with like an ex-girlfriend again all of a sudden.
Yeah, Carmi has a love interest, and I don't really like that part of the show.
I don't like it either. She really reminds me of like a manic pixie dream girl.
Yeah.
And then it's also causing issues with Sydney because, like, him and Sydney are supposed to be doing restaurant stuff.
Yeah, Sydney's trying to work. And
he's, like, bailing.
Yeah, but he really needs something like that, if you think about it.
Yes,
so,
but
like there's no
now.
truly good person in this show.
No.
There's no hero.
It's real people.
It's real people, and it feels like real life. Like, sometimes you just need to take a break, and he needed to take a break, so.
Yeah, I guess so.
But at the same time, like, it's a lot less about the restaurant itself.
It's more about all the characters.
It's more about the characters this season. Like, you learn about Marcus.
Yeah, they sent Marcus to Denmark to do a bunch of, like...
to Copenhagen
like, baking stuff.
Yeah, and you think, like, it's going to go all wrong and everything, and he's going to be like, you're a horrible baker,
But it goes really good.
It goes really well, and there's, like, a lot of positive development, and you're like, wow, that's great.
I am worried that in, like, the next episode or something that his mom's going to be dead.
Oh, his mom's probably going to die at the end of the season.
Yeah, I feel like he's going to come back, and he's going to find out, like, his mom passed away the day before or something.
Oh, that'd be terrible. And he doesn't show up or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it is kind of weird because, like, there's a lot of like extra stuff going on in the second season, which I'm sure is just building. I know it's building up to something, and I'm gonna like.
I feel like it's a very like Arrested Development type thing where there's all these things going on separately.
Sure.
And then it's all gonna like meet up at the very end.
At the end, yeah. And I kind of know how it meets up at the end and what their dishes are because fucking Binging with Babish.
They keep doing all the fucking dishes.
The foods that they're making later in the season.
Yeah.
Like, I can't watch a whole season of a TV show in one sitting. I can't do it. Especially with Hulu with ads. You fucking kidding me? So, like, that's the biggest problem I have with this show is fucking Binging with Babish. A week after the fucking season premieres,
they have, he like, says, 5 episodes.
"Oh, here's all the food," and I'm 100% sure that all their research they're doing now into foods is going to culminate into one of the things that he featured on his fucking YouTube channel. Just give it a month, dude. I don't care if the algorithm won't like it as much in a month. Just give it a little bit of time. The normal people need time to watch a TV show. Anyway, so yeah, The Bear is a very good show.
Yes.
Everyone, I would say a very good screen. Mm-hmm. If you have Hulu, give it a shot. If you don't have Hulu, ask your friend for their login.
Literally. I mean, that's how we have ours.
Yeah. All right. So that's pretty much all we had to say about The Bear. We kept it nice and short and sweet.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's shift gears again and go into Barbie.
Okay. I'm still really quiet.
You are?
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
I think it's just your voice.
It's just my voice doesn't travel as far as yours.
Yeah.
I have a high-pitched little girl voice.
You have a little girl voice.
You have a man voice.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a way I could tweak it. But anyway.
Is it showing up green?
Yeah, when you talk again.
I'm talking right now.
You're fine.
But it's showing like a lot quieter than yours.
Yeah, you're fine.
All right, whatever.
All right, let's go ahead and take another little break, and then we'll talk about Barbie.
Barbie!
I'm going to get some water, because I have a lot to say.
Yeah. Do you want me to, like, pause this, or just keep it going?
You can keep it going.
All right.
No, don't keep it going. Pause it.
Okay. All right, we're back.
We are back again with our second movie of the day.
Yep, and we also just tried ketchup chips that we got in Canada.
We did. We'll talk more about Canada later.
Mm-hmm.
We will talk a lot about Canada.
Yeah.
Okay. So, second part of Barbenheimer. The Barben.
The Barb.
The Barb. We went to go see, for those of you just tuning in, if you skipped for some reason the first third of the podcast, we watched Oppenheimer and Barbie on the same day. We started with Oppenheimer. Mm-hmm. I can't imagine what would have happened if we started with Barbie.
We would have exploded.
We would have exploded like the bomb.
Yep.
Okay. Lauren has tasked me with the research for Barbie. So this might go as well as Lauren doing research about World War II.
Yeah.
I definitely, I just want to say, I definitely learned a lot about Barbie.
There's a lot to learn. Barbie is an incredible woman.
Barbie is kind of a polarizing figure.
Barbie is all of us.
The concept of Barbie is kind of like
very
good
meta.
And bad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Barbie, of course, the movie,
yes,
is based on the toy Barbie.
What?
Yep.
They didn't make the Barbies after the movie?
No. No, I can imagine a huge surge. And someone was telling me to like invest in Mattel before this movie came out.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I think that surge is already hitting. But hold on. Just out of curiosity.
You're going to look at Mattel stock?
I'm going to look at Mattel stock again.
I was talking the other day about a Barbie I wanted to get.
Yeah, I don't think so.
There's a Barbie that comes with a sewing machine, and she like her thing is that she sews clothes, but I would give her a little display so that it's like she's sewing a quilt.
And how old are you?
Old enough to spend my money however I want.
Okay.
Says the man who's gonna order anime figures.
Shush. It's actually pretty down. It's down 3% last week, so I think the surge is over. Anyway, I don't like stocks. Yeah, Barbie's based on Barbie, the toy.
Yeah.
Barbie is for anyone who doesn't know a thing about Barbie, she is a fashion doll, and she was created by Ruth Handler and manufactured by Mattel. Mm-hmm. Ruth Handler is in the movie, but that is not her.
No.
That is not her. That is the woman from Cheers. Mm-hmm. I forget her name.
Yeah.
Barbie was first released in 1959. Barbie's influence spread to many things and was moved into the realm of multimedia in the 80s with video and computer games.
Yes.
And eventually she got a bunch of CGI films starting in the early 2000s.
Which were my favorite things as a kid. Yes.
And then eventually now she has a feature film. So very exciting times for Barbie.
Well, she also had a series on Netflix. 2 different series on Netflix.
Okay.
And like a whole YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And she was in Toy Story.
She was in Toy Story. She was a very good character in Toy Story.
Ruth Handler got the idea for Barbie after seeing her daughter playing with paper dolls, but giving them adult roles, like mommy and daddy and baby. Well, baby's not an adult role.
I was going to say, what the fuck? So like playing house.
Playing house, yeah. Initially, Mattel wasn't interested in the idea, and then included Ruth's husband, who's the co-founder of the company. So, big burn there.
Oof.
It wasn't until Ruth went to Europe in 1956 and discovered a German toy doll called Bild Lilly, which I'm sure I'm pronouncing correctly. Don't look it up.
Spelled? No, I want to see what it looks like.
Bild Lilli.
Oh, I see it. Oh, yeah, it looks like Barbie.
Yeah. We'll go into that then.
Okay.
She was inspired by the doll, so she took one home for her daughter, who was with her, I think, and 2 more home for Mattel for research purposes. Ruth redesigned the Bild Lilly doll with the help of Jack Ryan and renamed the doll Barbie after her daughter. It made its debut in America at the American International Toy Fair in NYC on 3/9/1959, which is also Ruth's daughter Barbie's birthday.
Happy birthday, Barbie.
The first Barbie doll wore a black and white striped bathing suit, which was shown in a dramatized version of Barbie's creation in the beginning of this movie, which was pretty funny.
That was all just Space Odyssey.
It was Space Odyssey, yeah. To nobody's surprise, the manufacturer of Bild Lilly, Louis Marks and Company, sued Mattel in March 1961 for patent infringement, specifically related to the Lily's doll's hip joints. They use like the same technology, basically, and because she copied the doll.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't an original idea. It was just Americanized. So in a way, both of our movies were about things that German and Americans were building. Just Americans made it better.
Yeah. They also both launched in Japan.
I don't think that was true. I couldn't find anything. All right. So there's a meme going around of Barbie and Oppenheimer about both of them launching first in Japan. So there was a meme going around saying that they both launched in Japan. And I couldn't find any evidence of that on Wikipedia. It just said that it launched in an American toy fair in 1959.
Yeah.
So I don't think that was a very tasteful meme.
You didn't actually like Google it though?
No.
So you didn't research it?
I researched Wikipedia.com.
You read the Barbie Wikipedia article and that was it?
Yeah, but it was revealed in America.
Well, yeah, but that's kind of like how anime figures are revealed, but they're not launched yet.
True. Okay, well, let's move on.
Okay.
Anyway, so they sued, the German company sued Mattel, and it was settled out of court. And in 1964, Mattel bought the copyright and patent rights for Bild Lilly for $21,600. That's
not their money?
American dollars.
Well, yes, but the 1960s money.
Yeah, 1960s money. There's a bunch of controversy. Initially, mothers did not like her big chest.
I can understand.
And Ruth Handler and her husband were terminated from Mattel in 1974 after an investigation found them guilty of issuing false and misleading financial reports.
What?
Yeah. What a hero. In 2006, it was estimated that over 1 billion Barbie dolls had been sold worldwide.
Wow, you really kind of just skipped like 30 years there.
I did. Not a lot happened. No, there's some stuff in the middle there that I'll talk about in a minute. Yeah, over 1 billion Barbie dolls have been sold worldwide in over 150 countries, with Mattel claiming that 3 Barbie dolls are sold every second. Remember the statement above, though. They falsified financial reports.
Does Mattel still do that?
I don't know. Fictional biography.
Oh, Barbie's backstory.
Barbie's lore.
Barbie has a lot of different lore.
I was a little upset to find out that a lot of this lore was not touched upon in the movie, other than like little references at the end.
Yeah.
But there could be a sequel.
She's not original Barbie. She's stereotypical Barbie.
Stereotypical Barbie.
So it could be in the next one they go seek out the original Barbie.
That's true. Okay. Barbie's lore, her backstory, was invented in a series of novels published in the 1960s. Her full name is Barbara Millicent Roberts.
That's cute.
She's from Willows, Wisconsin, which doesn't exist.
Okay.
And there might be a split timeline in the Barbie lore. The Barbieverse. The first set of novels that were invented were published by Random House. I don't know who made them. I didn't look into that. And had Barbie attending Willows High School. And the second set of novels, known as Generation Girl, were published by Golden Books in 1999.
Oh.
But Barbie attended another fictional school called Manhattan International High School.
Well, now she's in New York.
In New York City, yeah. I don't know. So there's 2 Barbies in the book lore. The universe
is split.
Yeah, so either there's another generation of Barbie, which, I mean, it was called Generation Girl. So maybe the first generation was Generation Woman.
Yeah.
Barbie has an on and off relationship with Ken.
Yes, she does.
Ken was introduced in 1961. Ken was the name of Ruth Handler's son. So Barbie's love interest is, very weird that she named both of them out of her son and her daughter. Barbie and Ken split up in 2004. I don't know if you remember this. You were pretty young. You were Barbie age, though. You were Barbie age.
I didn't have many Barbies growing up.
Okay.
But anyways, I digress.
They split up in 2004 after Mattel issued a news statement about it. They issued it to the news. They let everyone know.
That Barbie and Ken broke up?
Yeah.
What?
Can you imagine being the Mattel spokesperson and handing a piece of paper to the CNN correspondent and being like, we have some big news.
Breaking news.
And they're like, oh, what happened in New York now? And it's just Barbie and Ken broke up.
Can you imagine being I didn't have Barbies and I never knew about this also. I would have been 5 at this point. Can you imagine being like a 10-year-old girl and playing with your Barbies and you hear on the news Barbie and Ken broke up?
Yeah.
Officially?
Yeah, it make believe, more like make fake news.
Make me cry.
Make you cry. Anyway, they tried getting back together in 2006 after Ken got a makeover. I didn't look into that one, but that's what it said. Is it just
they did a different model for Ken now?
Ken had a different model, and the
Ken got plastic surgery?
Yeah, the advertising for it was maybe he has a chance with Barbie again.
What the fuck?
Yeah. In 2011, Mattel launched a campaign for Ken to win Barbie's affection back, and they officially reunited in 2011 on Valentine's Day. Took a while.
What the fuck? Yeah.
So after the makeover and a few years of learning to love himself, I guess.
Yeah, he had a journey of self-love.
Yeah, and then he found Barbie again. However, this didn't last because they were shown as just friends in the 2018, I don't know if it was a movie or a TV show, Barbie Dreamhouse Adventures.
That's the show.
That's the show. They were just friends in the show.
Oh, shit.
He was her neighbor. So, yeah, we're learning a lot about Barbie.
Yeah.
At this point, I was hooked. I was hooked into the Barbie lore.
Yeah, you went way deeper on this than I did on real history.
Fake history is way more fun. Barbie has 3 younger sisters, Skipper, Stacy, and Chelsea. Chelsea used to be Kelly. I remember Kelly being the sister, yeah. Barbie also has retired family members. Weird.
Todd,
as
in their dolls are retired.
Yeah. Todd, who was Stacy's twin brother. Chrissy, baby sister. and Francie, cousin.
Hmm.
So where'd they go? Where did the baby sister go? Gone?
Smallpox.
Barbie has a few friends. Now, in this section of the Wikipedia article, it listed their race before their name, and I took it away because I didn't think it mattered.
Go off, King. We don't see color.
Yeah, because I did not want to say African American and then name because I felt like that
sounds weird.
That didn't add anything. So
I mean, maybe it's because there were other like dolls with the same name before.
I guess I don't know. But Teresa, Midge, Christy, and Steven. Steven is Christy's boyfriend. Barbie
Midge was pregnant.
Barbie had a fling with Blaine, an Australian surfer.
Whoa!
During her time off with Ken. And Barbie has 40 different pets, including cats, dogs, a horse, a panda, a lion cub, and a zebra.
Wow.
And she has many modes of transportation, including a pink beetle, Corvette, trailer, Jeep, and planes. And she has a pilot license, and she's a stewardess. Mm-hmm. At the same time.
At the same time.
So clearly, and this is part of the movie.
She's also an astronaut.
Yeah. This is part of the movie, but Barbie was designed to have many different careers to show that women can do a variety of things in life, including being an astronaut, doctor, and NASCAR driver.
Yes!
That's word for word from Wikipedia.
And SpongeBob.
Fan. Barbie is a cultural icon. Mm-hmm. Cultural things, pop culture related. Andy Warhol created a painting of Barbie, which sold at an auction for $1.1 million. Later on, I forget what year, I think it was like 2015, 2016, the Andy Warhol Foundation teamed up with Mattel to create an Andy Warhol Barbie. Very cool.
That sounds cool. I had Andy Warhol Vans.
Very nice.
They had the bananas all over it.
Cool. Did you slip on them a lot?
No, but I did wear them till like my feet were coming through the bottoms.
Ew.
So I could have.
Controversies. In 1992, Teen Talk Barbie was released. She spoke 4 different phrases out of 270, so no 2 dolls were alike. Unfortunately, one of the phrases was, "Math class is tough."
No, girls in STEM, no!
Which was criticized by the American Association of University Women, even though since there were 216 million, oh, hold on.
Math is hard.
Math is hard. Hold on. 216,546,345 different phrase combinations, and so that meant only 1.5% of the dolls manufacturers actually said that.
Imagine having the one that said math class is hard.
Yeah.
So it discourages women from being good at math.
Pregnant Midge, used in the movie.
Yes, I love Pregnant Midge.
Was in 2002. Mm-hmm. There were complaints from parents stating that it promoted teen pregnancy. It also looked really fucking weird.
It also looked weird, but also like there are a lot of Barbies that are moms,
but,
and also people like girls mostly they don't play with Barbies like they're teenagers. They play with Barbies like they're adults.
Adults, yeah.
Yes.
Also, if you look at the lore, Midge was a married adult by this point. So
yeah.
Come on. I knew that just from reading Wikipedia.
I mean, the little girls know what babies are. All they play with are baby dolls until they get a Barbie or something.
Yeah. Saudi Arabia.
Oh, no.
Saudi Arabia outlawed Barbie in September 2003 because they didn't conform to the ideals of Islam. The government...
Halal?
What?
Barbie's not halal?
No. It's even worse than that.
Oh, shit.
A government agency, I forget the name, quoted, "Jewish Barbie dolls with their revealing clothes and shameful postures, accessories, and tools are a symbol of decadence of the perverted West. Let us beware of her dangers and be careful."
Barbie's Jewish?
Ruth Handler was Jewish.
Oh.
I think. So.
No. Islam, no.
So, in Muslim-majority nations, Barbie was replaced with Fula, who conformed to Islamic values.
Wow.
Fula was not manufactured.
Mattel makes her?
No. Hold on. Fula is not manufactured by Mattel, but Mattel does license it to certain markets. Jewish Barbie is still available in Egypt and Indonesia, which are Islam majority countries. In 2014, Mattel published a book called
Reading is hard.
Wait, what? Oh, okay. They published a book called Reading Hard. Called I want to say it was supposed to be Barbie Can Be a Computer Engineer, which depicted Barbie as being bad at computers and requiring her two male friends to complete all the necessary tasks to restore two laptops after she accidentally plugs in a malware-laced flash drive.
What the fuck? Barbie gave it Trojan virus and she didn't even fix it?
The book was removed from sale, and computer engineer Barbie was introduced. Like a doll.
Yeah.
And she was a game programmer.
Oh, that's fucking cool.
There were a lot of diversity controversies.
There always are.
And I'm not going to talk about them. Let's just say there was an Oreo Barbie.
What?
There was a black Oreo Barbie.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm going to skip those. But that's a little taste of some of the stuff that people got mad about. Body image.
Barbie can be fat now.
But she wasn't always.
No.
Barbie was pretty heavily criticized for having an unrealistic body image for girls.
Yeah, I remember this in like the late 2010s being a big issue.
Oh, it was an issue way before that.
Well, yeah, but I remember it a lot because like I watched a lot of like America's Next Top Model.
Yeah. And
then I would see stuff on the news about how like that wasn't healthy, which
it wasn't.
But then also how Barbie's like measurements on a real person would be.
I'll get to that in a minute.
Awful.
I'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, so they beefed her up.
All right. So, since Barbie was such a role model for girls, they would try to emulate her, and some of them, there were some studies shown that, like, yes, Barbie helped influence some girls to be anorexic. So yeah, unrealistic body proportions in Barbie dolls have been connected to some eating disorders in children. A standard Barbie doll is 11.5 inches tall, which is 29 centimeters for Skyward, and I guess Gearbox. Giving a height of 5 feet 9 inches, 1.75 meters at 1/6 scale. Barbie's vital statistics have been estimated at 36 inches, 91 centimeters chest, 18 inches, 46 centimeters waist, and 33 inches, 84 centimeters hips.
That's insane.
According to research at the University of Central Hospital in Helsinki, Finland. Is that how you say that? Do you say it like that? Helsinki?
Helsinki.
She would lack the 17 to 22% body fat required for a woman to menstruate. In 1963, the outfit Barbie Babysits came with a book titled How to Lose Weight, which advertised, "Don't eat."
Fuck.
The same book was included in another ensemble called Slumber Party in 1965, along with a pink bathroom scale permanently set to 110 pounds, 50 kilograms.
What the fuck?
Which would be underweight for a woman at 5 feet 9 inches.
Yeah, that's tall. Like if I was my like quote unquote scientifically ideal weight, that's what it would be at 5'2".
Yeah. Mattel said that the waist of the Barbie doll was made small because the waistbands of her clothes, along with the seams, snaps, and zippers, added bulk to her figure. In 1997, Barbie's body mold was redesigned and given a wider waist, with Mattel saying that this would make the doll better suited for contemporary fashion designs. Only in 2016 did Mattel introduce tall, petite, and curvy Barbie.
Yes.
Curvy Barbie made the cover of Time magazine. So now both topics were on the cover of Time magazine. I checked to see if she was on Time magazine before that. Barbie was not. Maybe Life. Life was big. I don't think Life's around anymore.
It's at the grocery stores.
Okay. In 2006, researchers Helga Dittmar, Emma Hallowell, and Suzanne Ive conducted an experiment testing how dolls, including Barbie, affect self-image in young girls. The research found that the girls who were exposed to the images of Barbie had significantly lower self-esteem than the girls who were exposed to a realistic-looking doll called Emmy.
I remember that.
Yeah. I have a hot take about the movie related to body image stuff later on.
Yeah.
But let's continue.
Yeah. Let me
know.
The
movie.
Oh, okay.
Oh, go on.
I was gonna say, let me know when I'm allowed to have an aside about
body
the toys
image.
The toys I played with growing up.
Okay, what were the toys you played with growing up? You're allowed.
I didn't have many Barbies. My friends all had Barbies, but for whatever reason, I didn't have many Barbies. Growing up, I had Bratz, and I really enjoyed them. I especially remember having a lot of, like, the Bratz babies with the big fucking heads. Okay. I loved them. And then I had Polly Pockets. And it was the era of Polly Pocket where she had, like, the rubber clothes. Okay. And you chew on them.
Oh, okay.
That's girl dinner. But yeah, that's it. I didn't have many Barbies myself. I mostly had Polly Pockets and Webkins.
Cool. Bratz was a big competitor when they came out. They were huge. And also really bad body image.
Yeah, but they were funny.
They were funny looking.
I never, like, internalized any body image stuff from, like, dolls I played
Well, Bratz
with.
Was super, like, dramatized. Barbie was more realistic looking. Yeah, emphasized.
Like, I remember there was, like, a Bratz, like, movie or something that I saw. And, like, I had a couple Bratz dolls.
Yeah.
Maybe my mom didn't want me to be like the other girls and got me Bratz. But I just remember I thought it was funny how big their heads were.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the movie.
Okay.
The movie was directed by Greta Gerwig. Mm-hmm. She directed Lady Bird and Little Women. Mm-hmm. It stars a lot of people, but Margot Robbie is Barbie, stereotypical Barbie. Ryan Gosling, he's Ken, regular Ken. Mm-hmm. Kate McKinnon, America Ferrera is a Ray. Ray Perlman, she's the woman from Cheers, who plays Ruth. Will Ferrell, who's the CEO of Mattel, and others, including John Cena.
Especially John Cena.
Yeah.
And Michael Cera.
The movie was initially announced in 2009.
Yeah, so I've read about that. Originally, she was going to make it back then, but, like, the society hadn't caught up with the message she wanted to give yet.
I thought it had a different director.
That too.
Okay.
But she, like, approached it again in, like, the mid-2010s, I think.
Okay.
But society wasn't where she wanted it to be at for the message of the movie, so she waited.
Okay.
I read something about that.
I think this movie would have been more effective 10 years ago.
No, I think it would have been a lot worse 10 years ago.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, look at Devil Wears Prada. It would have been like that.
Oh, okay. Amy Schumer and Anne Hathaway were both going to be Barbie until the film rights were transferred to Warner Brothers in 2018. Can you imagine Amy Schumer being Barbie?
I'd fucking kill myself.
Filming began in 2022. The screenplay was written during the COVID lockdown, where Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach collaborated on the screenplay and were given full creative freedom by Mattel for writing the film. Mm-hmm. The narrative arc was inspired by the 1994 book Reviving Ophelia by Mary Pfeiffer, which recounts the effects of societal pressures on American adolescent girls. It had generally positive reviews and made $516 million worldwide, making it the 9th highest grossing film of 2023 so far. I mean, it's only been out for a week.
Yeah.
Here's some Barbenheimer stats for both movies. Oh, I think part of my thing is cut off. Oh, well, I've talked enough. AMC Theaters stated 40,000 AMC Stub members pre-booked tickets for both films on the same day. Opening weekend gross of $162 million was the largest opening since Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, and the biggest film opening ever for a movie directed by a woman, beating Captain Marvel.
Wow.
Thankfully.
Good job.
Third high... Actually, I kind of like Captain Marvel.
I never saw it.
Third highest July opening movie weekend behind The Lion King 2019 and The Deathly Hallows Part 2. So.
Yeah, hard to beat Harry Potter. There's more?
No, I think it just hit another decimal or
okay.
Dot.
Bullet point.
Bullet point. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so Lauren, what do you think about Barbie?
I overall liked it.
Okay.
But there was some things about the way that the plot flowed that I didn't like. It wasn't so much the criticisms that you harbor.
Right.
Because you have like weird man criticisms, which are invalid in this conversation.
Okay.
This is a woman movie.
This is a woman's world.
For women, by women. This is utopia.
Yeah.
I didn't like how, like, the plot, like, finished up, like, 2/3 of the way in.
Yeah.
And then, like, the last third of the movie was, like, that didn't have to be there.
Well, it's an existential movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, the last third of the movie felt out of place to me.
So, I'm not ashamed.
Like, I get what happened. I get why it happened, but I didn't like it.
I think it's kind of funny. Like, I'm going to spoil the whole movie. Okay.
So, we do that every time.
Yeah. So, Barbie lives in her wonderful world where women do everything. Who Run the World Girls. I can't believe that song wasn't in this movie.
Yeah, right.
All the women do everything, and the men are just there to be on the beach, and they hope one day the women will notice them because they are so good at their job of beach. Because that's all that's left, because the women do everything else. And then Barbie suddenly starts thinking about dying during a party.
Yeah.
And she wakes up with cellulite. And
which I didn't like that either.
Yeah, and she's like, "Oh no, what's happening? Something is wrong with me. I need to figure out what's wrong with me." So she goes to Weird Barbie, who was ousted from the cool town, but still has a really cool house.
Yeah.
Because her person that controls her basically cut her hair off and stuff.
Yeah, played with her too
hard and started growing up basically. So Barbie's like, okay, well, my girl's probably growing up, and I need to talk to her and ask her to change me back. And because I can't change. Change is bad. We need to stay good, fun time, Barbie land, whatever. So she goes to the real world, but Ken comes along.
Yeah.
Because he wants to spend time with Barbie. He wants to help her. So they go to the real world, which is super dramatized to be like, every man is sexist and every man runs everything, which isn't how the world is at all anymore.
I mean, it still kind of is.
But like it was I understand they wanted to like make a point, but like it would have felt more like, oh wow, yeah, it is kind of like that. That's why I said like 10 years ago, it felt more like that.
10 years ago, I think there would have been a lot more like awful jokes and insinuations.
No, I think if it would have had the same director, it would have been. It's still, people would have been like, well, that was kind of like thought provoking for a Barbie. It's a movie about a fucking doll, first of all, so like take it at face value. But every man in this movie was fucking retarded, and every woman in this movie was smart,
just like in real life. So
it was. I understand like it's supposed to be an empowering movie for women.
Yeah.
But imagine if they flipped it around.
That's what every other movie is.
No, it's not though. There hasn't been a movie like that since like the 80s. Or maybe the early 90s. Like we've made so many strides to like better represent women, especially in movies.
Yeah.
And in real life, like our vice president, love it or hate it, is a woman. It's not like the best woman.
Yeah, I don't like
but it
her,
is a woman, okay?
Yeah.
So like we don't live in the world that they're like portraying here.
Yeah.
Like it's 10, 20 years ago, like two women couldn't even marry. And
yeah.
I feel like that's why what I meant, like 10 years ago, we wouldn't have had all the, like, I don't want to say women's rights have changed that much since then.
Society has changed.
But society has been more accepting.
Women.
So, like, it feels sort of out of place that they're going that route now. Like, it definitely feels like they started production in 2009.
Yeah, I see why you say that.
Yeah, so that's my only hot take about the movie. I think that, and I didn't like where it resolved. So and it was funny at first. Like Ken goes out into the real world and like he's empowered because he finds out that men do everything there, and his whole life he was doing nothing.
Yeah.
But he's misled, and that's the funny part about it, because he thinks men rule the world with liking horses.
Yeah.
And cars.
Yeah.
So he goes back and tells all the other Kens, like, hey, we can take this place over because this is how it's like in the real world. And then Barbie is still out there, and she finds the person who owned her, which is actually an older woman who's going through, like...
Well, it's the girl's mom.
The girl's mom.
Who, like, kept her when the girl was throwing all the other Barbies away.
Yeah, and she started playing with her.
Yeah.
and she's like getting older and like dealing with being a 50-year-old woman or whatever, and she's going through some things, and they don't really talk about that at all.
Just
about
that she's sad?
Why she's having those thoughts or anything.
Well, it was partially because, so she has like the depressing job.
Yeah.
She has a bad relationship with her daughter.
Yeah, because her daughter's getting older.
Yeah.
Which is just normal.
And she's maybe going through like menopause. I don't know.
She might be going through menopause. And her husband is the nicest guy, but again, he's dumb as a doorknob.
He's dim.
Yeah, like every other man in this movie.
He's doing Duolingo for Spanish.
He was trying to learn Spanish for her.
Mm-hmm.
He was being a good guy, but he's, again, portrayed as kind of a dumbass.
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of like drop her arc and her story, and they're like, "Oh no, Ken's going back to Kenland or Barbie Land," and then they go back, and he transforms Barbie Land into like Kenland, and they're all over the Kens.
Mojo Dojo.
Yeah, something like
house.
that. Yeah, and it's super stereotypical and kind of like weird, but like they're all feeling empowered.
It's like what happened if like a boy like invited himself into like his sister and her friends playing Barbies.
Yeah.
It's like what he would do with the Barbies. He'd be like, "No, I'm in charge.
Yeah.
This is my house, actually, not yours, you stupid girl."
Yeah.
That's how I saw it.
So why the thing about the movie that, and again, this is a movie about a fucking doll, so
yeah,
take it at face value, but I thought they would touch upon like more people in the real world who were like playing, like controlling the Barbies, because there's only one that they really touch upon. Like, what about everybody else? Where's their controllers?
How many Barbie worlds are there?
Yeah.
How big is the Barbieverse?
Yeah, so Barbie goes to Mattel at some point, or Mattel tries to like steal her.
They figure out that she came out of Barbie World, and
bad
they
things
have to go put her
happen
back.
when that happens, and that part kind of fizzled out and didn't really matter eventually.
Yeah. That was like a weird plot thing that they probably had something for, but they're like, no.
Yeah, and then they all go back to Barbie Land, and then the mom is like, "Hey, we can just manipulate the men to do what we want because they're simps."
Yeah.
And they do that.
Yeah.
And they manipulate them so they're all distracted, so that they all cast the vote to reinstate all the women again.
Yeah.
So it basically gets Barbie Land back to where it was, but the Kens are all really sad because they don't have a purpose in life. And it kind of like pulls into the point of like, that's how a lot of men feel though. So I don't know if that's like part of the message or not.
I don't know.
That might be like the man message, or like the adult, like, I don't know. But I felt like they were going somewhere with that, and then
they kind of stopped. And
then the Barbies were like, "Oh, you'll get your place in the House of Representatives in like 50 years," and they kind of laughed. But then Barbie's like, "Well, we just kind of like put everything back to where it was. I still have like, there's no purpose in my life because everything's going to be like this forever." So what does she do? She becomes a real woman and has to go to the world that's apparently just run by men. Yeah. She decides that's a better place to go to than a utopia with all the women.
Yeah.
Which I don't really understand. Yeah, and it ends with her going to her first gynecologist appointment.
Yeah, because now she has a vagina.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought maybe it would end on a note like they bring equality to Barbie World.
Yeah.
Like, instead of like joking equality, but like actually giving Kens like something to do, and like
letting them have jobs.
Yeah, because there are Ken dolls with jobs.
You're right. Yeah.
There's like the whole line of like I can be, and there's like Kens that are like firefighters.
Yeah. So even the
like,
toy is more or less like sexist than the world that they live in towards men. So I don't know. That part of the movie bugged me. I don't know if I swayed you in that direction. Like, this is kind of fucked up movie.
Like, I see it, but I'm like also setting that kind of aside because I enjoyed the movie for what it is.
I did too, but like it just left a bad taste in my mouth.
I feel like they could have definitely like brainstormed
but here's the problem.
A bit more.
Here's the problem though. So remember I said the self-image thing?
Yeah.
A lot of little girls are going to see this movie.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are going to be like, "Oh, we're in charge." And they'll basically become a joke to like everyone in elementary school because they'll be like, "No, fuck you." And also, all the women look really pretty in this movie.
Well, yeah, but there's all kinds of women.
Yeah, but they all look really pretty.
Okay.
So the body image thing.
You're saying not every woman is pretty?
Not every woman is what's her name?
Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie.
Well, yeah, no.
Or like Dua Lipa.
Yeah.
Is it Lipa or Lipa?
Dua Lipa.
Dua Lipa?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I like her music.
Yeah.
So, or John Cena, or
yeah,
Ryan Gosling.
Every
yeah, all the men
is...
look really good too.
Yeah.
So like, this movie doesn't really do a lot.
Well, that's because that's how Barbies look.
Right, but like Barbies don't look like that anymore. In 2016, we figured that out. We made the plus size Barbie. Where was she in the movie?
Do you know what?
What?
Where?
What?
It's Down syndrome Barbie.
No. Shh. We're not going to talk about Down syndrome. No. We're not going to talk about Down syndrome Barbie. So, one of the plot points of the movie, the only reason why she went to the real world is because she got cellulite and she didn't like it.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
Yeah.
I didn't like that at all. When that happened, I was like, why is that the awful thing happening to her and not the fact that she's just not like the other Barbies anymore?
And she's thinking about dying.
Yeah,
where's therapist Barbie?
Why couldn't why couldn't she go to therapist Barbie and talked about it? Or like what if the issue was like how she wasn't able to like fly down anymore? Or what if it was like that, but also like other magical stuff that happened, like how her feet were now flat.
Yeah,
and also maybe she had bad hair.
Yeah.
Or something, not cellulite.
Yeah.
Which like everyone who isn't anorexic has. It's just natural.
Yeah. So, and they didn't touch upon that at all. Like, they dropped the whole, what's going on with the woman thing in the real world just because the men were taking over. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. I think the movie, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe there's...
You're just missing the wonder of being a woman.
I don't know. Maybe...
The best thing about being a woman is seeing Barbie.
Did you ever take all the clothes off of Barbie?
Oh, yeah. My friends and I, we made our Barbies fuck.
Wow.
Yeah, they fucked and they had babies, and then they had issues because they, fucked each other's husbands and had
what
their
the
babies.
fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. That's what girls who play with Barbies do.
I took the clothes off the Barbie and I went...
we had, two, couples, right? And then they had, their friends, but, the drama was always something, he fucked... her and now they have a baby, but they can't tell everyone that the baby isn't his.
Maybe the Islam are right.
It was like shit.
Maybe the Muslims are onto something.
It was shit we saw on TV. You know what I mean? Like Dr. Phil type shit.
Yeah.
It was just us making drama. That's what girls who play with Barbies do.
I never thought I'd sympathize with the Saudi Arabians. All right, wow. All right, so. But overall, if you don't think too hard, if you turn your brain off for this
if you're
movie,
a 10-year-old girl and you're watching this, I'm sure it's fantastic.
It's fantastic, and you're gonna want to go ask your mom for a Barbie. I mean,
if you want to think about another Barbie movie, don't you remember the one with Tyra Banks?
What?
And Lindsay Lohan?
It was a Barbie movie?
It was kind of like a Barbie movie. It's like her doll came to life.
Oh.
Do you remember that?
I remember that,
what was it called?
I don't know. We'll find out later.
Yeah, that was really good.
Okay, and it had a good message?
It had a message of, how to grow up.
Okay.
Growing up.
Okay. Yeah, I thought either this was going to be about growing up or it was going to be about, learning to love yourself even though you have flaws. And it was not about that. It was not about that. It was about having an existential crisis and moving on and deciding to learn that you're a woman or you should be a woman because your life doesn't matter unless you're a real woman.
Unless you're perfect.
So, I don't know. Again... It's a movie about a fucking doll. Take it at face value. It was funny.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Remember, Russell, you are enough.
Yeah. That part was funny.
Yeah.
It was cool that, they, kind of touched, the men's mental health thing. Because, that, seriously, if you think about it, what's the man's job in the world? It's to, at least in look at our household. I bring the money home. I provide. But what else do I do? Fucking nothing.
Cooking.
I cook. Okay, so I'm also Barbie.
Yeah.
But a lot of, and that goes, especially later in life, that goes through men's heads. What am I here for other than to provide? I don't have any hobbies or anything, and yeah. But I like that they touched upon that with Ken.
It is time for you to go to therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I talked about that at therapy today. My therapist thinks you should go to therapy.
Wow. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like how they at least touched on that, but they didn't resolve that.
No, they didn't really.
They kind of
anything.
made fun of it in a way, which I think is messed up. Look at the ratio of suicide rates from men to women.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a movie about Barbie. It was all right.
Yeah.
I would say it was a borderline bad screen, but maybe I wouldn't have thought too deeply about it if we watched it first.
Okay.
Yeah.
You weren't in a good headspace for Barbie.
I was thinking about an atomic bomb. So naturally, the first like weird thing I saw in that movie, I was like, the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
And then it kind of spiraled. Also, it was kind of like a big advertisement movie.
Yeah.
I of course, like, it was made to sell Barbies, but like there's also a Chevy commercial that's literally just a scene from the movie.
Yeah.
And they show the dashboard, just show you the features in the movie of the Chevy that she's driving in. So there's that. A lot of Barbies for Christmas this year, though, probably.
I'm getting
a lot of
myself
stereotypical
a Barbie
Barbies. I'll buy a Ken. If you buy a Barbie, I'll buy a Ken.
I just want to get the sewing Barbie and make her.
And I'll show you how fucking weird it is. I'll set him right next to the TV and play with him.
Okay, let's play Barbies.
No.
Let's play Barbies.
No, I think a fun extra thing to do would be to watch the Barbie CG animated movies.
Yes!
All 16 of them.
Okay, maybe not all 16 of them, but definitely my favorites.
Okay.
We're going to watch Princess and the Pauper, Swan Lake, 12 Dancing Princesses, Fairytopia.
Fairytopia?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thumbelina.
Okay.
That's all the ones I can remember off the top of my head. But they're all very good. Nutcracker. Barbie and the Nutcracker is the best Christmas movie to watch.
It's called Barbie in the Nutcracker.
Barbie in your fucking butthole.
I remember there's like a golem.
Yeah, there is a
Yeah,
golem.
my sister had that one.
And the one that's Fairytopia, that's the one with Bibble in it.
I don't know.
Oh my god. He's like a fat orange and blue thing with big fucking eyes.
Okay.
Or purple and blue. I said
Okay.
orange. He's purple with like blue spots. And he has like one of those weird Barbie CGI faces. Like, have you seen the memes of the elephant from Barbie that has like human eyes?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like that. It's so good.
All right.
I had a Bibble plush. And then I also had a plush of I don't remember which one it was, but there was one where she had like a purple unicorn, and I had a big plush of the unicorn, and it was amazing. Like, it sat on my bed.
Cool. Okay. So, do you have anything else to say about Barbie? I feel like I dominated that conversation.
I love Barbie. I hear the criticism, but I love Barbie as a concept.
Okay.
I'm gonna go buy Barbie. I'm gonna get sewing Barbie, goddammit.
Okay. Cool. Do you want to take a break before we start talking about our last thing?
Yeah.
Or do you have anything else to say?
Live free, Barbie hard.
Barbie hard. Okay.
Okay.
Let's take a
little
break. All right, we're back. We're done talking about screens.
Yep.
It's time for a screenless shout out.
Yep.
We have a combo this week, I think, right?
Oh, the same thing?
Yeah. Do you have the same thing as me?
I hope so.
We'll do it. 3, 2, 1. Vacation.
Canada.
Yes.
Same
That's
thing.
the same thing. We went on vacation. That's why this episode's out a little late. We went to Niagara Falls, Canada, and Niagara-on-the-Lake. It was only for a few days, but we had a lot of fun.
We did.
You want to go ahead and elaborate on the thing?
Yeah.
The vacation, I should say?
Yeah, we spent 4 days in Canada. We stayed at a hotel at Niagara Falls.
Uh-huh.
We went down to the falls like every single day.
I'd say
much.
so, yeah.
And then we spent like half of a day in Niagara-on-the-Lake, but we planned for our next trip in Canada. We want to spend like a couple days in that area.
Yeah.
It was such like a sweet little surprise. And it's just this little like lake town on Lake Ontario. Like, I want to go do stuff in the lake next time. Like, I want to go swimming. I want to do like kayaking. I want to spend more time there.
Okay.
And like hiking. There were like trails around there.
Yeah, there was a lot to do outside of we were in the tourist trap. So we got there.
Yeah.
I went to Niagara Falls 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I was pretty young. I don't remember it. I was 8 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember same hotel I stayed in back then.
Mm-hmm.
We stayed in now. I'm sure it was redesigned and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember us just walking down. We were there.
Mm-hmm.
They completely blocked off. You could tell there were steps to go down.
Yeah.
They blocked off that whole area, and now it's basically it feels kind of like in Atlantic City or
mm-hmm.
something like that, but it's on a
kind of
river.
Very manufactured.
Yeah, so there's way more hotels, there's way more restaurants,
mm-hmm.
and then there's a central area where you just walk down to the falls, and it's at the end of the falls, or at the middle
mm-hmm.
of the strip that you walk down.
Mm-hmm.
And the falls are still, obviously they don't go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And the park and everything. But if you turn left from there.
Yeah, if you keep walking left.
And go up, it loops back up, but there's
mm-hmm.
this whole boardwalk-esque area now.
Yeah.
That wasn't there in 2002. And
it was kind of awesome though.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
And that caught us by surprise. So we went there for at the end of the day for a little bit.
Yeah, we spent a few hours
didn't
up
realize so much was there.
Yeah.
The first night we were pigeonholed because we wanted to go to the Rainforest Cafe.
Yeah, we had to go down there.
And we were kind of stuck on that.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't even go back up. We left and we went back down.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't even think to look what was up there. And then the second day we were there, we went to get ice cream.
Yeah, we went to get ice cream.
And I was
passed by an ice cream place.
Yeah, and I was like, well, wait, Lauren, let's go up here and see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
There was so much. There was a Burger King with a Frankenstein. There
Ripley's
was go-karts, a lot of mini golf,
mm-hmm.
weirdly in buildings.
Yeah. You've
a lot
never
of
done
stuff for
glow in the dark
kids.
mini golf?
No.
It's fun.
A lot of stuff for kids.
Mm-hmm.
But there was just so much more added there, and it was great. But I would say overall, Niagara Falls itself, if you get there early, is a day thing.
Yes.
It is not a 4-day thing.
No.
I'm so glad that we left. We went to Niagara Falls, the town,
mm-hmm.
which felt more like a regular old town.
Yeah, it was just a regular place.
It's pretty ghost town on a Tuesday afternoon.
mm-hmm.
And then they told us oh yeah, you should go to Niagara on the Lake. It's a half hour away.
I asked my waitress, I was like, so I grew up in a really touristy area, but so what is something else around here to do
mm-hmm.
that isn't this immediately surrounding us?
Yeah.
She was like, oh yeah, go to Niagara on the Lake. It's cute. And we did.
And it was nice.
It was really nice.
Yeah. So if you go up north to the actual lake, I shouldn't say that,
mm-hmm.
to Lake Ontario, where
mm-hmm.
Niagara Falls comes from.
It's only 30 minutes away.
30 minutes away. It's very nice little town.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of little stores and shops to go to. I got my parents some coffee and
mm-hmm.
stuff like that. But it was very nice, I think. But if we redid our trip
mm-hmm.
again, if we go there next year, which I'm not really 100% okay with doing the same vacation every year. I'm not old enough to do that yet.
I mean, it's not the same. We're doing different stuff.
It'll be different, but it's the same location. But I would do Niagara one day and then 2 days up there and then loop around and do a little more of Canada.
Well, yeah, that's
Niagara
what
Falls.
I was saying.
Yeah.
We do just a day in Niagara. We don't even stay there. We go to Niagara on the Lake for 2 days and do stuff on the lake, and then we go to Toronto for 2 days.
Yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be nice to do.
Because then we're still going to Canada, but we're doing different stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like how you go to California, but don't just go to Disneyland.
Yeah, it was very nice. My favorite part about the trip was the fact that I didn't have data.
My favorite part of the trip was the film camera.
Oh, that too.
Yeah.
Lauren took most of our photos on a film camera.
Mm-hmm.
And I took enough photos. I'm sure everyone saw on Instagram by now.
Mm-hmm.
I posted them already on my Game Boy camera.
Yeah.
And they came out pretty good.
Yeah, that was really good.
And so, but Lauren used the film camera. It's like a Kodak something.
Yeah.
And it's great. We're going to get them developed soon.
Mm-hmm.
We just had to take some more pictures.
Yeah.
And yeah, I liked how it kind of felt like a nice little disconnect from using my phone all day.
Mm-hmm.
And I already uninstalled all my social media apps, so I wasn't even getting antsy about checking stuff.
Yeah, the only thing that sucked though was navigating.
Yeah, sometimes that sucked. But if we got close enough to the border,
we got service.
We got service for a little bit, and then it would help out. So
yeah, when we were at the hotel, because the Wi-Fi was really shitty, but I was able to download the local map on Google Maps.
Yeah.
Using the map was difficult sometimes because things wouldn't load or like it wouldn't reroute us.
Yeah, and you got the offline maps from the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that was nice.
Yeah.
I liked our little trip.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have anything else to say about that?
Russell did not propose.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
Apparently that's what you do there, but I didn't see anyone propose there, so I'm good.
Well, that's what you do on vacations like that.
I was just having a nice vacation with Lauren.
It was nice.
And then my sister, when we got there, she's like, "Are you gonna pop the question?" I was like, "Is that what people do here?" And
Even
I was like, "No."
When I was talking with Amanda last night, she was like, "So did anything happen?"
No.
And I was like, "No, he didn't propose." She was like, "Oh."
Apparently that's a thing.
It's just what you do when you go on vacations. And you've been dating for almost 5 years.
I was partying. I was having a good time.
I mean, yeah, we had a good time.
Yeah.
I don't mean to sound like I'm complaining.
She's complaining.
I was expecting it to happen and it didn't happen, but that's okay because Russell's... Stop taking my tissues!
You're shaking the whole table.
I'm going to divorce you. But yeah, Russell supposedly has a plan.
Sure.
That's what you said!
Yeah, I do. I'm not public. I'm not going to do it in public. I think that's cringe.
He's going to do it in our bathroom.
Yeah. I'm going to wait until you're sitting on the toilet one day and you're in there for like 15 minutes and I'll just bust down the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, but we had a good time either way.
We had a really nice time. Yeah.
What else happened there?
It rained?
It rained a few days. It rained on and off.
Yeah, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
It wasn't like the whole day.
The trip up wasn't even that bad either. Like
No.
it was a long time, but since we switched off, it wasn't that bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I feel like I should have another screenless shout out from the trip, but I'm forgetting. Oh yeah, we went to Tim Hortons.
Yeah, Tim Hortons.
I've had the sudden realization that as soon as I went into Tim Hortons, that it's just Dunkin' Donuts.
Basically.
For Canadians.
Yeah.
I thought it was more like a convenience shop like Wawa.
Mm-mm.
But it is absolutely not. It's like Dunkin' Donuts if everything tasted good.
Yeah.
That's the best way I could describe it.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't blow me away. It wasn't like a Wawa level
I thought it was
sort of.
nice.
It was nice, but it wasn't exactly what I thought it was gonna be because I thought it was like a gas station equivalent thing.
Yeah. Oh, also there were like 10,000 IHOPs.
Yeah, IHOP was really popular in our area, probably because of the syrup and everything. But we were really in a tourist like trap area.
Yeah, like every hotel had an IHOP attached.
Every
to
hotel
it.
had a restaurant or an IHOP, and there was so much to do.
There's a lot of Dairy Queens too.
A lot of Dairy Queens and Applebee's.
Yeah.
Applebee's was big too. I don't know. But next time I would not stay in that exact area.
No, I'd want to go farther north, like where that party place was.
Yeah.
Like that strip, or just not stay there, period. And just like spend a day there.
Yeah.
Or even if we like went to Niagara on the Lake first for a couple days and then went down to Niagara Falls for just a day.
Yeah, we could do that too on the way back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, so as travel ambassadors on this podcast, if you ever go to Niagara Falls, make it a day thing. Just get there really early so you can park.
Yeah, go park down at the falls. There's an area where you can do like all day parking at like the Queen Victoria restaurant place. All day parking is 35 Canadian dollars, so it's even less than American. You just park your car there, you go walk around and you do all your stuff, and you go back to your car at the end of the day and you go to your actual real destination.
Yeah.
But the falls is very nice.
It is very nice.
It's my first time seeing like one of the wonders of the world.
That is one of the wonders of the world.
Yeah, and also seeing a Great Lake.
Yeah.
Because we went to Lake Ontario.
It was a lake.
It was a big lake.
Yep. We were really close to it too.
Mm-hmm.
Like the waterfront was like right there.
Yeah. Like there were kids like playing in the water.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Okay. Well, that's about all I have to say.
Yeah, me too.
Cool. What do we have in store for the next podcast, Lauren?
I don't know.
A new movie
We haven't
coming
even
out
thought
soon?
about it.
Let's look it up right now. Let's see.
Oh, are we the Joe Rogan podcast?
Yeah,
now?
we're Joe Rogan now. It's kind of like the for fun part at the end, right?
Sure. Haunted Mansion.
Oh God.
Sound of Freedom.
Sound of Freedom. Yeah, Sound of Freedom.
The new Insidious movie.
No. Pass. What do we got that's out like by next Friday?
Oh, we could still go see No Hard Feelings.
Okay, that's.
Mission Impossible. I think the only thing like coming out next week is like Haunted Mansion.
Oh, okay. You want to see that?
Oh, the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie?
That comes out next week?
That comes out on Monday.
Okay, that works then. We can go see that.
Sure.
The girl who plays Sydney is in it.
Yeah, she
From
is.
The Bear.
Yeah.
So it'll tie everything together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so new movie, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm not a huge fan of it, so that'll be fun. As in, like, I don't know a lot about it, not like I hate it.
Yeah, I don't either, honestly.
Okay, and what about the old movie? What old movie do you want to watch?
Saving Private Ryan.
Okay, that'll be a nice polarizing.
No, let's not watch that.
I got we can watch some of the movies I got from the sale.
Oh yeah, I was gonna see what's on our Google Sheets list.
Yeah, what's on the list?
Amelie, The Exorcist, Planet Terror, Teacher's Pet.
Is this from Will Party?
No, this is my list I made.
Oh.
Bernie featuring Jack Black, and The Princess Bride, because I've never seen The Princess Bride.
Let's watch The Princess Bride.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds like a good one.
Yeah, I've never seen the full thing.
I've seen
I know
it.
the memes, but
Yeah.
yeah.
It's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
It's a classic.
Yeah.
That'd be a nice combo.
Okay.
All right, so next 2 weeks from now or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to do Princess Bride and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Cool. So, yeah, I think this turned out shorter than I thought it would be.
It's still going to be like 3 hours long.
You think so?
I know so.
Last time we thought that, and it was still 2 hours. After I cut out all your ums in the first part, I think I might cut it down. So, which one did you like more, Lauren? We should have probably talked about this before. Did you like Barbie or Oppenheimer more?
It's hard to pick, honestly, because I like them both for different reasons.
I
had the most hype for Barbie. I even wore my pink dress.
I had hype for Barbie too, and it was a little squatted. Squatted? Squashed. Squashed. There we go.
There you go.
I got the word.
Good job.
Thank you.
Math class is hard.
Math class is hard. I liked Oppenheimer more because it felt
more real?
It felt more real. I liked where my face melted off.
Yeah. That was my favorite part
great.
too. When I got like stage 5 radiation, that was the best.
When they told me I would have 10 days to live, that was awesome.
Yeah, that was the best part. If you actually see that movie, you're exposed to the radiation.
Yeah, they put it in the film.
Yeah, it's like 4D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's terrible, Lauren. I liked Oppenheimer because it felt more like an event than Barbie.
I wonder why.
Barbie felt like an advertisement.
I mean, inherently, that's what it is.
Yeah, and I don't think Oppenheimer was selling me anything.
No, Oppenheimer did not sell World War II to me.
But overall, we saw 2 movies that weren't linked to Marvel in any way.
The win. That's a win.
And I think a new Marvel movie comes out soon.
I'm not seeing it.
I need to get caught up.
No, you don't.
I don't know. I feel like the writer's strike is gonna kill Marvel. Like not kill them, but like all the momentum that they have, and DC. Like they're just gonna lose it all.
I'm not feeling any momentum from either of them.
Yeah. What do you feel about the writer's strike? Do you think we're gonna have like a lull in movies we can go see eventually?
Yes, but also I did see something about how Disney is trying to use AI to write scripts right now since there's no one to write the
That's
script.
awesome. I love that.
And that they're trying to pay people to be scabs.
What's that mean?
A scab is someone who like crosses the picket line. And like goes and does the work that everyone's protesting about.
Yeah, now's the time to work.
Yeah, a lot of like production places are like hiring like crazy and trying to get scabs, but I don't think anyone's gonna fall for it really.
I think that if I needed a job and I wasn't in the Screen Actors Guild, I would cross that picket line to say fuck you. They didn't let me in or they kicked me out.
I don't think you'd get a job after that.
Probably not.
No. It's not worth it. Picket lines are serious business.
Are they really?
Yes.
I think everything should have a picket line.
My pussy.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching the good screen. Yeah, hopefully we don't run out of screens to watch, but hey, we have plenty of extra old movies to see, right?
Yeah, there's like a whole lot of movies we could watch.
Yep, we don't need the Screen Actors Guild. Fuck the writers.
Stop!
I'm just
no!
kidding. I'm just kidding. Yeah, it could be interesting. This happened in 2008 and delayed a lot of stuff too.
Yeah.
Canceled a lot of shows and.
Yeah, that was also when the recession happened.
Yeah, weird. All right.
It's almost like we're in another recession.
No, we're out of it. See how much people are spending? Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. Anyway, thank you everyone for watching or listening, I guess. Mm-hmm. And we'll see you next time with
Princess
Bride and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Cool. We did that at the same time.
Yeah.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.